What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, NVIDIA, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'll break down something very important on the smaller time frames and transition to the bigger time frame on SPY, and show you something very interesting on the charts and how this could end up playing out. But before I break into all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you put in $1,000 or more, you're guaranteed 15 free stocks. The offer ends very soon. Anyways, looking at SPY, this thing is actually shuffling around this 508 area, been going back and forth and back and forth. We saw this big drop all the way down to 506.96, and since then it's been kind of stuck. So on this time frame, I want to show you something very interesting. We need to see SPY bounce here for there to be hope for the bulls. If we fail to get that bounce, we could turn a lot more bearish from here, and let me show you what I'm talking about. So in terms of levels, this is what SPY looks like on the 5 minutes time frame. There's a possible inverse head and shoulders like structure that could be developing, which gives SPY some hope to try to push back up to 509 plus. But here's the thing about that: we have to get that bounce. We have to try to get back above. We have to break above 508.5, then 509 plus for us to really see this thing show some potential. Now, if we end up losing 506.96, we're bearish. This thing's going to be sinking all the way down towards 506 flats and lower levels like that. But if we get that bounce off this inverse head and shoulders, there is some hope for this thing to rebound. I also want to call out that if SPY does rebound, okay, let's just say that this thing does hypothetically get a bounce in the smaller time frame. We start pushing to about 509 or something like that, 509.5, right? It's pushing, but you want to also watch this because there is a potential bearish structure on the hourly time frame. If SPY were to rebound like this, we could be hitting this resistance just under 510. So watch and see, do we get a big rejection here from kind of like a head and shoulders and come back down, or do we continue to break above 510? That is going to be the key for us in this chart. Let me just draw it out for you. So if this thing does get a breakout, so the first thing to watch for, first thing to watch for is, do we see this thing sink back down and fail to get any kind of breakout? And that's why I was talking about the smaller time frame to watch it. And then if the inverse head and shoulders in the smaller time frame does play out, right? Does this thing get some kind of breakout? If we do get the break, I'm going to be watching this like head and shoulders like structure here. So this is like a big head. We have like a left shoulder here. And then do we end up failing, or do we end up making our way back above 510? We try to invalidate this for a nice recovery. That's what you want to watch for, a nice retest and see if we get a bounce or not. I do have a feeling that so far this pattern does suggest SPY will try to rebound a little bit. So we could see this thing try to get back to 509. But once again, guys, that does not turn me into a mega bull or anything like that. We'll have to see what happens once we get to that reaction. So I'll be watching that very, very carefully. Onto the QQQ, I want to call out that for the triple Q, we have something very similar developing. The QQQ is still kind of shuffling at this 436 area. We're seeing some buyers defending it. If this thing gets a little push higher, can we kind of push up towards this resistance at 439, if not 438? I think there's a chance the QQQ could retest 438, but then we'll have to see if we get a rejection or not. That's going to be key for us. For now, I don't want to call out like 5 moves into the future, like up, down, up, down. I just want to focus on, can we get a little rebound for now and retest this resistance? And if we do so, will we be able to hold, or are we about to get another rejection, right? That's what we're going to have to be watching for. One could also argue we have like a left shoulder here and like a head. So even if we do get a little rebound, that doesn't necessarily mean we're back to bullish. It could just be a temporary push up before we drop again if this is a change in market structure. So look for an attempt to bounce on the QQQ. We could try to make our way slowly back up a little higher before we turn back down again. If you want to be bearish, you want to see it basically lose 436 flat and make our way down to 434. Hasn't really lost it today. For the most part, it held quite well. So I think there's a very good chance it might rebound just a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. For NVIDIA is in a very interesting place. This thing is becoming very, very much just is continuing to try to push up again one more time. But the issue with this is we haven't been able to break this high right here. I want to see NVIDIA break above 865. If we do break that, we do have potential to bounce. But for now, hasn't really done that. So you want to be careful. It's been range bound, trading around 850 for the last couple of hours, going back and forth and back and forth. So there's not really much going on with the charts. But the question is, can we get that break? One could also draw out a little wedge here, but I'm not going to focus on that for now. For now, I'm just going to watch and see, does this thing manage to break 865, or do we fail to do so? And if we fail to do so, we could just consolidate for an extended period of time before we see a bigger move. To turn bearish on this thing, you want to see it lose the support right here at 832. So far, it's kind of stuck in this range, so we'll just have to see what it does. For now, I'll be watching a lot of these levels right here, very tight levels on Nvidia. I do believe there is potential for this to try to rebound at least just a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. But with that being said, I just want to thank every single one of you so much for listening this far. Moving on to Tesla. Tesla, on my opinion, is not looking as bad as before. It did sell off more. It came all the way down to about 177. When I was recording my video, it was barely losing 180, so it did drop a little bit more, but now we're seeing some buyers defending it. So it's trying to get back above 180. If we could close above 180 or at least try to hold above this, there is potential for us to make our way back up to 184. But I need to see this thing hold 180. So far, it's holding up, and we're seeing buyers defending it. So let's hope we get back up to 184 soon. I think there is a chance Tesla could see a little rebound, but that does not mean that the chart is bullish, because the overall trend is still downwards. If you guys look at the direction, it's still moving down. It could make an attempt to rebound a bit, but that doesn't guarantee it's going to reverse from here. So I just want to make that as clear as possible. We could push a little higher, but watch resistance very carefully. And Tesla is showing a little bit of life to push even higher than this. Last but not least, we have Apple stock. Now, Apple's been sinking like a rock, but even though this thing hit 170, it's trying to push back up to 170.9. Not really getting much of a break, but there is somewhat of an attempt to do so. If it breaks 170.9, you're going to be watching the next level around 172 to 172.5. Then we have this gap to fill up above if we do break from there. But Apple is barely showing a little bit of life. It's not there yet. We're not getting a breakout, so we'll see how Apple does. Losing 170 would be bearish. We could sink towards 160 in that case. But overall, it's still holding very close to the level, and there could be an attempt for it to rebound. Otherwise, Apple is still just kind of stuck right here, so we'll see how it goes. With that being said, I'll just go over a couple more. SPY is still continuing to consolidate, but we'll see if this inverse head and shoulders plays out or not. And then we also have SoFi looking very, very weak amidst bad news that came out. If we look at this on larger time frames, I just want to call out that looks very weak right now. There's no sign of a really nice bounce yet on SoFi, so please be very careful with this. And this is approaching resistance, previous resistance becoming support. And, we have 7.25 as another support. So not looking the best on SoFi, looking quite bearish. Super Micro trying to make its way back up again. But if you look at this, it does look like it could actually, it's trying to bounce off this 20 EMA, trying to make its way back up. But it's going to likely see some sideways price action around this 1,000 area. I think it may just continue to do so. So just be patient with this and see how the market ends up dictating this. For the IWM Russell 2000, this is trying to bounce, getting back above its key EMA. So we'll see if this thing could try to hold above 204.6. It's just consolidating around that. If we do break above this or hold above this, we could try to rebound. For a couple more tickers, we also have, let me see, Microsoft. Microsoft right now, it's sinking towards 400.79, looking relatively weak thanks to more bad news. So we'll see how well it holds around 400.79. It could try to bounce around there. So I'm going to be looking to see if we get that bounce right there. For a few more, I just want to go over Amazon and Meta. Amazon came down exactly as predicted. We even lost our 50 EMA. So I could see this actually sink a little bit more towards 172.5, and then we might see an attempt to rebound from there. But overall, Amazon's not looking that horrible. We're still trying to hold up close to 174. I could see a little bit more selling that comes. I could see a little bit more selling before it tries to rebound, but I do think a bounce could come. And then for Meta, this thing bounced off the 50 EMA right there. We're going to be looking to see if we could try to retest 494. If we do break above this, we could see a little rebound. So watch for this now. The market's entering a critical place. As for SPY, we're still at critical support. It's not looking the strongest, but we'll have to see how well it holds around here. So just be very, very careful. All right, there's a possible inverse head and shoulders. We'll see if this plays out. If we lose 506.96, we turn bearish. If we hold above 507.5-ish around this area, and we continue to consolidate around here, there could be an attempt to rebound at the end of the day. but we have to hold our levels. So I'll be watching for that very, very carefully. With that being said, I thank you for listening. I hope you guys have a great day. Remain calm, cool, and collected. I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you for listening, and peace out.